we are waiting for one to join, you can introduce yourself in the chat box, your name, location, that is where you are joining us from, and your field of study. My name is Ajoke, and I will be hosting you. I'll be your host for today's session. Please, everybody should ensure their microphone, like their mic is turned off. Please, we can continue introducing ourselves in the chat box. I'm saying Lydia Ogunwi from Lagos. Welcome. Lydia from Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome. Please, everybody should introduce themselves in the chat box. So, we have 9 people. I can see that we have 9 participants now, and only Lydia has introduced herself in the chat box. Please, I want Oluwatumise Adedayo from Ogun State. Welcome. Please, the rest should also introduce themselves in the chat box. While I continue, this workshop is designed to help students on like their early career applications. That is how to present their CV for their early career applications, how to present it for their academic journey, for scholarships, grants, postgraduate admissions, and research opportunities. Can you all hear me? Please, I want to be sure that you guys can hear me. Please, someone should just reply. I want to be sure that you guys can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
And I can see that only 2 people has introduced themselves. Okay, Adekunle Victor from Lautech, joining from Ogun State. Welcome to our workshop. We are excited to have you all here today. So, as I said before, you all should just keep your microphone muted until you are invited to speak. Elijah Adeyemo from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us today. So, can we continue? I think we have 10 participants now. Who else has joined? Please, you guys should just introduce yourself in the chat box. I've only seen 4 people. Only 4 people has introduced themselves. As once again, welcome to Academic CV 101, building a CV that gets you global opportunities. And for the people that were not here when I introduced myself, my name is Ajoke, Ilesomi Ajoke, and I'll be hosting you for today's session. Who else has joined? Ellen Adeniran from Ibadan, Nigeria. Welcome. I think we have 11 participants now. Dr. Bolorunduro Babatunde Bramwell from Abuja, Nigeria, University of Abuja. Welcome to the session. I think we are good to go. As you all know, the session is designed to help everyone with their academic CV. That is how to present themselves if they want to get screen sharing. Okay. Can I see myself? You guys hear me? I think I can't see myself now. So let me introduce. I think our host is available now. Let me introduce our host, Mr. Paul Eweola Ayomide, an Erasmus scholar, the founder of Aqua World, the founder of this Borderless Foresight within amidst all other things. He has, and trust me, you guys are in good hands because he has experience with helping people to build their CVs, and he has also helped himself to win many grants, scholarships. Is an Erasmus scholar and all other things. Please, I want you guys to applaud our speaker. I want to see you guys applauding our speaker in the chat box. Mr. Paul Eweola Ayomide. You guys should join me in applauding our speaker. So that this is the time we've been waiting for.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Good afternoon, good evening, maybe good morning from anywhere you are joining us from. It's great pleasure to be with everyone once again. Once again, welcome to Borderless Foresight. Yeah, we're just going to begin. For those who would join us later, they would join us alongside the call. And for those who are unable to join, they would catch up with the recording on YouTube. So thank you so much, Majoke, for the beautiful introduction. My name is Paul Ayomide. I'm an Erasmus scholar and also the director for Borderless Foresight. Yeah, we've had 2 months down the line, we've had different trainings, on harnessing some global opportunities. We started with scholarships first. We've had trainings for those who applied for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. We also had trainings for those who are applying for Erasmus. And I'm also happy to share that people who have been reaching out for our services to review applications, all you just need to do is write to the email. You get the information on the commitment fee and how to send the document across. But we are committed to providing access to information, right, at low cost, you know. So we are organizing some trainings that are free of charge so as to show everyone the tips, right, key components of um, certain resources that you can leverage free of charge. And one of them is drafting a winning academic CV. And why is this session so important? It's important because uh, based on observation, I've discovered that a lot of people do not know the difference between an academic CV, general CV, and a work CV, right? So many people, the CV they use to apply for jobs are what they use to apply as PhD, research, the same. And some even use the same CV to apply for jobs. So, and in the real context, an academic CV is different from a work CV. Now, even academic CV has different versions. So this training is to give clarity on what an academic CV is, what your academic CV should contain, and how can you make your academic CV of high quality, right? So I want to know what are your expectations for this session? Let's see in the chat box. What are your expectations? What is that one thing you are expecting to learn from this session? So I want to go to the chat box Yes, yes. I want to see our responses in the chat box. What is the one thing, just one thing you want to learn from this session? And it comes to drafting a winning CV. Okay, leader said to improve my CV. Well, isn't that vague? I want you to be specific because what I want to show everyone today is something that works, right? It has worked for a lot of people. It has worked for me, right? So this is the format I used for my scholarship programs, my admissions, and others have used them and help other people create their CV. Okay, someone said to understand how to structure my experiences into an academic CV. Yes, right. So that's very, very, I like that specific, how to structure. So it's one thing to have the experience, it's another thing to be able to organize it, right, to fit into your academic CV. Okay, one more. Can I get one more before I go ahead? Can I get one more? Yes, what is one thing to know what I did wrong in my existing CV? Okay, okay, all right, Lydia. Thank you. Okay, so we have a link in the chat box. Please kindly fill the attendance so as to help us keep in track with you and stay in touch. All right, so let's go to the business of the day. Um, so during the course of the day, we have 6 overview. First, we want to know what is an academic CV. Then second, what should your academic CV tell selection committees? For those who are reviewing your academic CV, what should be the information, right? There are some information that they're expecting from you. Then how do you structure an academic CV? They also look at the core principles. So here, like I said, I'm giving out the secrets, replicate it over and over again, right? You can use them anytime for different academic opportunities. Then we are going to do a live draft. We're going to work on a particular academic CV, just an overview, right? So we know what to do. I'm just doing this to build our level of confidence. Then also, how do you tailor your CV for different opportunities? Okay, so that is that. Let's move forward. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. I'm going to start this session with this word from Will Rogers. You know, if you are going to make a first impression, you only have just how many times, how many opportunities do you have to make a first impression? Let me see I in the chat box. How many opportunities? Yes, you want to make a first impression. How many opportunities do you get to make to make a first impression? Yes, Solomon once, Lydia once. Are you sure? Can't we have more than one? You only get to make, like you see, first impression. You only have one opportunity. There is no second chance to making a first impression. So if you are going to make the first impression, how would you make that impression? If you want to make a first impression on someone or a group of people, how would you make that impression? If you know that you got no second chance, yes, I want us to flow in the chat box. If you know that you only have one opportunity, no chance, no second chance, one opportunity to make a first impression, how would you make the impression? On a scale of 1 to 10, how far would you go to making that impression? 1 is the lowest, 10 is the highest. And you know that, thank you. Kehinde said, put out your best self. Tumishe said, on a scale of 10, 10. So everyone agrees that if you have the chance to make a first impression, you put out your best foot, right? That is exactly what your academic CV is meant for. Your academic CV is meant to make your first impression impressive, make your first impression outstanding. And when you flop, At the first impression, there is no second chance. Right? So let's look at this second object. If you have one chance to unlock your biggest academic goal, how would you present yourself on paper? Now, you do not have any chance to explain yourself. You do not have the chance to meet with the panel in a room. You only have one chance. How would you present yourself on paper? So these are questions that I want you to think about whenever you're developing your academic CV. That, see, I want to make a first impression. And once I miss it, there is no second chance for that particular opportunity. It means I need to look for another opportunity to make another first impression. And when you're thinking about your academic CV, you see it as just one chance to unlocking your next academic goal, your next academic focus. You are seeing it as your presentation on paper. I hope you know that there are so many opportunities that you do not need interviews for to get. I hope you know that it's not all scholarships, it's not all applications that you do interviews for. I've fundraised over 300,000 US dollars for organizations, for community projects, either as part of the fundraising team or as a lead grant writer. And majority of these opportunities were presentation on paper. The 2 scholarships I got, all of the presentations were on paper, no interview, right? Except some job opportunities. And there are some job opportunities that your presentation on paper alone says a lot. So that is how you should think about your academic CV. The one chance you have to what? To unlock that next goal. And you only have to do it on your first impression. So there's a particular scholar who applied for a PhD opportunity. Permit me to call him Mr. A. So Mr. A applied he saw an advert for a PhD opportunity in one of the school at that time is one of the top 6 schools in the world. So I want to ask you a question. Not a master's advertisement, for a PhD. What would you think would be the stages for application? Yes? Now, I said the school is one of the top 6 schools in the world, right? And it's for a PhD program. So how do you think the application stage 1 would do? You submit this, stage 2, stage 3. How do you think the stages will be arranged? Yes? It's a real life story. I'm telling you a real life story. Chat box. What are your assumptions to the stages of the application? Yes? What are your assumptions? Okay, no, it's just an application. You are applying to the supervisor for a PhD program. If you are the supervisor, how would you break down the stages for the application? So for me, stage 1 will be submitting the form, right? Stage 2 would be an interview. How many of you agree with me? Stage 2 would be an interview. That's like the standard process. Stage 2 would be an interview. Now, that was what was on the advertisement for the PhD program. So when Mr. A saw the advert, he went to his CV, drafted the CV, and sent them to the supervisor. So guess what? When the supervisor saw it, he wrote back to him and said, "Oh, dear Mr. A, I am pleased to inform you that there will be no need for an interview. You have been accepted for the PhD program." So here is the question. What happened? What changed the mind of the supervisor from scrapping the interview? Yes, can someone tell me? What changed the mind of the supervisor? He only sent his CV. Someone said the CV was great. I want our responses, like, to know if he was totally impressed and convinced seeing his CV. Yes, the CV impressed the supervisor, first impression, and he found him qualified. It showed purpose, the quality of the CV. Yes, you all are right. The CV showed Mr. A as the right fit. It showed his potential and suitability as the right candidate for the opportunity. So we want to know, how do we present ourselves as the right fit? In quote, for those who have the required experience. So let's move forward. So the first question, what is an academic CV? It is very simple. So I like to use simple terminologies. So it's a structured summary of your academic journey. Remember, this is not a work CV, it is an academic CV. Your academic CV is a structured summary. It is not the whole story. No, it is a structured summary of your academic journey. How you began. What are your key milestones? Key milestones, not story. What are your key milestones? What are the key actions? What are your skill sets? Your knowledge? So it is a structured summary of your academic journey. Education, showing your background knowledge, your research, right? Your research showing your real life experience, your activities, how you have been impacted, how you have impacted others. So I'll go back. Education. Education gives the background of your academics, right? Where is your space and your niche? Your research talks about how have you applied your knowledge in the real world. That is your research. How you have applied your knowledge in the real world using scientific principles to solve real life problems. Then your activities talks about how you have been impacted by others, right? Or how you have impacted others. So probably you've been a tutor before. You've taken summer classes as a tutor. You've taught in schools. It counts. Remember, it's a summary of your academic journey. It is not where you've learned alone. Where have you also taught people? Then your academic achievement. You see these four things. These four things are what builds up your academic CV. Your education, your research, your activities, and your academics. Every key component of an academic CV are all attached to these four structures. Remember that your academic CV is your structured summary, is a structured summary of your academic journey. And it must shows your education, your background, your research, your activities, your academic achievements. Now let's move further. What should your academic CV tell selection committees? Now, bear it in mind that when you are drafting your academic CV, whoever is going to review it, most times might only glance through. Why? Because you are not the only one sending your academic CVs. On an average, most times, up to 300, 200 people are applying for the same opportunity you are applying for. And trust me, I hope you know that they do not spend their whole life reviewing CVs, right? They don't spend their whole life reviewing CVs. They only spend few minutes. So your academic CV should be able to show your profile in a very short time. Oh, this person is a marine scientist. Okay, he can use this tool. Oh, very good. Oh my God, he has not done this project. That is how they do it. In a short time, they want to know your academic profile. So they should not look through your CV and first, they don't even know what you study as an undergraduate. They don't know if you have professions or not. No, 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 no. They should be able to gauge your academic profile in a very short time. Oh, very good. Skillful in this. But good skill sets. He has the required tools, has this experience in a very short time. Secondly, now after you have passed through that phase, once they see your CV and it catches their attention, you have just within 1 minute to 2 minutes to catch the attention of the reviewer. Then they would verify if your CV matches your application. Everything you are saying in your SOP must what? Must correlate with what is in your CV. So in your statement of purpose, you gave an example of how what you did with XYZ Research Institute. And checking your CV, they can't find your internship with that research institute. So for example, you had said in your SOP, in 2023, I worked with Cocoa Research Institute as an intern, where I work with a group of scientists to do XYZ, XYZ. The only way to verify what you are saying is true is going through your words, through your academic CV. So they want to know, what did you do? What tools did you use? Did you publish anything from the results? So it has to match. So if you are able to catch the attention of your reviewer in a short time, when they go further, your experience must match. Whatever is in your CV or in the form, because sometimes some recruiters don't use SOPs. They ask you some question in Google Forms. So by the time they go, they want to make sure that what you are saying validates what's on your CV. Then number three, your academic CV should show enough evidence of your potential skills and experience. Why you are unable to say everything in your SOP, in short points, your CV should show that, oh, this is enough evidence. Let me give you an example. As a recruiter, when you are going through your list of application, it is very, very important that you put your DOI or hyperlink that research. So they can, with just one tap, they are able to verify. And also, when you talk about your experience, the use of metrics, what have you been able to achieve, is very, very important. So evidence, metrics, links where possible. So the next thing we are going to talk about is how do you integrate all of these things? How do you make your CV attractive in a very short while? How do you make sure your experience match your story? And how are you able to show enough evidence using metrics, using links, and using active voice? So these are three important things that your academic CV should what? Your academic profile in a short time should show what? A match between your story and your CV and your experience. Sorry, experience. Then also enough evidence. So let's move forward. How many of you are with me? If you are with me, can you give me a thumbs up? Let me see. How many people are here with me? If you are with me, kindly give me a thumbs up. Okay. All right. So remember, also when you are drafting your CV, whoever is going to read it is going to spend 1 to 2 minutes. Whatever you have there should catch their attention. Then when they move further, your story must match. What you have said in your code mail should match what is on your CV. And your CV should show enough evidence. Don't just write stories. You need numbers. They have to be relevant. So how do you integrate all of this into your CV? And we go to our next, which is the structure of an academic CV. I am going to spend more time on this area. Your academic CV has 3 sections: the head, body, and tail. Please, if you were not listening to me before, I'm going to beg you that at this point, you pay attention. You pay attention. We are going to do live practice, right? But this is I would say, the most important aspect of this training. This is the most important aspect of this training. Now, an academic CV has 3 sections, which is the head, the body, and the tail. The head, the body, and the tail. When you understand that the academic CV has the head, body, and the tail, you don't have a problem. All you need to do is you begin to ask yourself, what are the components of the head? What are the components of the body? And what are the components of the tail? What are the components of the head? What are the components of the body? And what are the components of the tail? So the head of your CV is the top. So this comprises of the head, your name, your email address, your contact address, your phone number, your web profile link, which includes LinkedIn, Google Scholar, or Orchid. That is all. The head will have your name, your full name, Paul Ayomide Eweola, your contact address. You can have it in full, or you put the state and the country, or the town, community, state, and country. I put my full address in my academic CV. Then your email address, of course, they should be able to get across back to you, right? Don't make that mistake. Don't think, oh, after all, I'm sending it through an email. The person we are sending the form to through an email might not be the one reviewing it. So your email address, your phone number with your country code, very important. Your phone number with your country code. Then you must include your web profile link. We are going to draft an academic CV using this. So that is the head. Now, your web profile link, LinkedIn, if you do not have a LinkedIn, please, it's very, very important. So your LinkedIn should show your visibility, right? Your Google Scholar, of course, you know that your Google Scholar is your Google Scholar link shows your presence in the scientific community. So it's very much important. Then also, if you can create an Orchid profile. So Google Scholar and Orchid are it's like a repository for academic publications. So if you have publications and they are not on Google Scholar or Orchid, I'll recommend you put them. Very, very important. But at least you must have the link to your LinkedIn. So name, contact address, email address, mobile number, and working profile. These are the head. Now the body, after the head, you move straight to there's a section here that I did not put. Sometimes it is optional, but you can always put it. It is called summary or profile, right? It is called summary or profile. So the summary and your profile is a 2 to 3 sentence that summarizes who you are academically. It involves a recent graduate of XYZ, skilled in XYZ, looking for opportunities in XYZ. Maximum of 5 lines. It summarizes your experience, your skill set, and your future plan. Can you see that? It summarizes your experience, your skill set, and future plans. So each of them can come in a line or two. A recent graduate of marine biology, skilled in using SDS page to measure protein enzymes, blah, blah, blah. The skill set you talk about should link to your application, right? So, or skilled in using GIS to identify areas of hotspots. You have to be specific. So that is what your profile, your summary should say. Your experience, your skill set, and your future plans. So when you're ending it, you're looking for opportunities in this and this and this, 5 lines. Then you move to your research interests. Your research interest is very, very important. Your research interest, so it tells the reviewer you are interested in. And they should not be more. For example, hello, can you hear me? Okay, I'm going to pick up questions. Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, thank you very much. So your research interests, this is a section where you list the 3 most important areas you are interested in, your 3 most important academic area of interest. So for example, now you are applying for a program, let's say, that has to do with I'm trying to look for an example. Yeah, that's in medical line, right? So that is in medical line. So you have to be very specific. If you want to do anything that has to do with virus, so you want to know, okay, let me give a key example. Probably you want to be specific in vaccination, right? Whatever you're going to pick next for that has to be related. You want to look at the effect of or interaction between virus and the host, right? So can you see that now? So you are picking your 3 top research interests. So for example, you are interested in environmental risk assessment, and the next thing you are picking marine entrepreneurship as your next research interest. There is no correlation. So if you are picking environmental risk assessment, right, of marine environment, another close one could be ecological assessments or risk analysis, right, or ecotoxicology. So you have to pick 3 research interests, 3, no more than 3, and these 3 must have an affinity to a particular context. So if what you are doing is on virology, make sure your 3 area of interest is on virology. If what you are doing is on ecology, make sure your 3 area of interest are what? Are on ecology. So do not pick three area of interest on entrepreneurship, and your next area of interest is on something that does not even correlate at all. So that means you have to do your homework on your field. So you need to know the field, your area of study, your field of play, so as to select your three area of interest. No matter what you are interested in, you should be able to link them to different academic interests and select the three that are mostly related. So do not pick broad area of interest. So you are picking freshwater ecology. Then the next thing you are doing is ecological assessment of marine of coastal environments. You are already digressing because there are two different entities. So you should be able to specify three area of interest. Three area of interest in your CV. Are we all following? Can you give me a thumbs up? Is that clear enough? All right. So that is your research interest. Very simple. Just list three. List three area of interest. Then the next is your education. This one is very simple. Your university education, and I think that's just it. So you can list your masters and your undergraduate. There is no need for your secondary school education. There is no need. Your undergraduate, and please, they have to come in the order of the most recent to the least recent. So don't put your undergraduate at the top, then your masters below. No, no, no. If you have done your masters should come first. And what are those things that you are going to write? They are very simple. You don't need to show yourself too much. So your education, what is it? Bachelors of XYZ, Bachelor of Technology in this and that, Bachelor of Science in accounting. Simple. The next line, the university, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, FUNAB in brackets, comma, Ogun State, comma, Nigeria. Then the next is your grade. First class, then semicolon, your CGPA. That is all. You do not need to list your courses. I've reviewed CV before and people were listing their courses. You don't need to list your courses. You don't need to list your thesis. No. So the title of your degree, the institution, and your grade. Very simple. Why? Because you can't jam pack your CV and it has to be very organized. You can't jam pack your CV. The next is your research and work experience. Your research and work experience. So let me quickly correct this. I just wrote work experience. Let me correct this. Your research and your work experience. Remember that this is the body. This is the main part of your academic CV. Now, for your research and work experience, you have to use active voices. This is the session where you show evidence. Remember, who can tell me the three things that your academic CV should tell recruiters? I mentioned three things. What are those three things? The three things your academic CV should tell your recruiters. Who can tell me those three things? Yes?
Hello.
No, you can drop it in the chat box. In the chat box.
Okay.
Yeah. So who can tell me list those three things? What are the three things that your academic CV should tell your recruiters or the admission committee? I don't want to use recruiters. So that's like a job. So what are the three things that your academic CV should tell the committee? Yes? I'm waiting. Were this what? No, 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 no. I'm waiting for someone to tell me. Nice try. Thank you. Someone said, of course, should show them your academic profile in a very short time. Number two, should what? Evidence of your experience. So let's go back. Can you see it? Should show them that your experience match your application and enough evidence of your potential, skills, and experience. This part of your CV is where you get the opportunity to show them enough evidence, your research work and work experience. Now, when it comes to research experience, you need to understand that your first research experience as a student is from your undergraduate thesis, your undergraduate, yes, we call them project work in Nigeria. That is your first research experience. Second, for those who have the opportunity to go on industrial trainings and CWES, if you add them done in research institutes, they are also research experience. Because many people would come to me and like, oh, sir, I did not do any internship. I didn't do this. So I asked them, but you're a graduate. They're like, yes. Then you should know that your undergraduate work is a research experience. So at this point, you start with the name of your role. Very simple. What's the name of the role? Research intern, undergraduate research assistant, undergraduate research intern. The name of the lab where you did your experiments, or your department for those who are in social science. Then you what? Put the name of your supervisor. So the first line, the name, undergraduate research assistant, the department of XYZ. For those in sciences, where you have to go to the lab, you put the department of XYZ research laboratory and your supervisor. Then in bulletin points 3, 4, or 5, you list what you did, starting with verb, past tense. What did you do? Conducted XYZ survey on blah, blah, blah. Don't say I did no. Remember, active voice. Active voice. Can you see that? Collected and analyzed XYZ samples. List the samples after 21 days of experiments. Researched relevant literature on blah, blah, blah. Studied and analyzed the effect of what you have done. Break them down in active voices. Theorized and presented the results to the Department of XYZ. Can you see that? So From there, you are showing evidence. You are showing, oh, this person can work with these tools. Analyzed the results using R software. Collected and analyzed samples. They are seeing the evidence of what you have done, how you did them. I've seen some CVs and I see what's like, I designed an experimental procedure setup. No. I collected, no. I worked with, no. Collaborated with a team of researchers to design a chronic experimental setup to do this and this. So whatever it is that you have done, you break them down in bulletin points. Don't write it as sentence. No. Use active voices. How many of you are with me? Can I see some thumbs up? Can I see some thumbs up? All right. So that is how it is. So you go to the next research experience. The name of the role, research intern. Where? Put the location. You can put your supervisor. Then also do the same thing, right? What did you do? Remember, you have to use active voices, past tense. Studied and analyzed the effect of blah, blah, blah. Coordinated this. If you led a team of, sampled 125, for those that are in social science that have to do with questionnaires, right? Administer a preliminary survey to 120 random sample. So sample populations, can you see that? You have to use active voices. So it starts with first, what did you do? How did you do it? Especially when it comes to your samples. I don't want to go deep. You should know what was your research goal? What was your results? If you don't even know what to write in your bulletin points, your results, the tools you use, convert them into active voices. How did you, your material and your method? That is for your undergraduate, so that is it. Can you see it? So that is what your research and work experience. The same thing when you are now done listing your research experience, please, the ones that are relevant. Let me give you an example. There's a particular time I was applying for a research, an academic opportunity, and I saw that the experiment will be done in aquariums, right? So I did my internship in an aquarium facility. So what I did was I brought that thing, research intern, XYZ, the location. Then I wrote everything I did. Conducted water testing analysis to ensure optimal water quality in XYZ type of aquarium. Conducted site inspection in marine aquarium facilities, right? Gained hands-on experience with aquarium system and water quality monitoring. When the interviewer sent me a response via email, do you know what it spoke about everything I said? The person said, I see that you have an experience with aquarium facilities. And you have the profile of someone I'm willing to work with. So please, when you are putting your research experience, you should be able to filter the ones that relate. Of course, all research experience are important when it comes to academic. But when you want to talk about your work experience, bring in the ones that are related. I'm not saying this to kind of shade, but if at all you don't have any work experience that relates, if you want to augment, maybe just one. So for example, you're applying for the role of let's say, graduate assistant, and you are going to be working on something related to machinery or AI. Now, you have listed some of your research experience, right? Probably you work with some team to develop some AI protocols, some algorithms, and you want to add some work experience. So you added that um, you worked as, just as an example, right? You worked as a marketing officer. You see that does not relate. But instead, if you had worked as a tutor, a teacher, remember that your academic CV, the first, when I give you the definition of an academic CV, let's go back to the definition of an academic CV. Your education, your research, your activities. And here I said your activities should tell the impact that others have had on you and also your impact on others. So for those who have taught before, if you still have space, you can just put this in. That, oh, you taught, it showed that now for those that are applying as a graduate assistant, because you will assist in lecturing people. Can you see it? So you have to also filter your experience when you are writing CV. Let me now chip this in. You must have a general CV. There is one CV that we call what? A general CV, where you list all your experience. So when you want to apply for opportunities, you filter that CV. So you then, in your research and your work experience, you pick the ones that are related to the role you're applying for. Right? So are we good to go? Can I get a thumbs up? Are we good to go? All right. So after your research and work experience, remember your role, the location. For research, you can put your supervisor. Then for your work experience, just your role. Then what the location and what did you do? Right? What did you do? Oh, I tutored children from age 9 to 14 on basic literacy, or simple mathematical equations. List them there. So you have to just use your active voice. Then also, you have to begin with the most recent, please. You have to begin with the most recent. So start from 2025, 2024, 2023, like that. And you have to be selective. You can't pick all your experience. You have to filter, because most times, most CV only, some will specify 2 to 3 pages. However, let me now state this. Let me give this caveat. There are some opportunities that you're applying for, and you are asked to use Europa CV. And the committee says maximum of 10 pages. They are telling you that all the experience that you know that relates, put it there. So they're giving you an blank check. But when it comes to some particular CV and you see no more than 2 pages. So I think for Erasmus, when you're asked to use Europa CV, some programs allows you to upload your CV of 8. I think for mine, it was 10 pages maximum. So I just pack, experience that were relevant, that I know would boost my application. I listed them there. But when it comes to CVs for 2 to 3 pages, you have to be very, very selective. And at this point, I would say put your best foot forward. In each of the section, only highlight the most relevant. So when you check through your general CV, which of the research interests? Oh, list all your research experience. The one that internship, list them there. What were the products? Right? List them there. When it comes to education, work experience, augment with any work experience that relates to what you're applying for. Then don't forget that you have to start with the most recent. See, the use of active verbs are very, very important. You have to. Yeah. For those that are past, when you are talking about your past experience, you have to use those active verbs, coordinated, conducted. For any experience that you are working on currently, then you can leave them as active verb. Oh, assist, supervise, lead, but you must start with a verb. Please, very, very important. You must start with a verb. So the next section under your body is your publication. This is very, very simple and easy to go. Remember, I said something. Your undergraduate dissertation, you don't list your undergraduate dissertation under your education. What is what we call project, right? You list it under your publication. So you write your name, the topic of your project, right? The topic of your project, and a dissertation submitted to the Department of XYZ. So the name, the year, the topic, who was submitted to. So that's where you hear your publication, you list all your scientific publications, journals, book chapter, conference papers, research, list them here. So for those that have so many publications under these categories, you filter the ones that are relevant. So here, your publication, you have your journal, book chapter, your conference paper. If you have done your master's thesis, your bachelor's dissertation, they come under this section. Just simple. So when you're writing journals and you're not the only author, when you list all the author, put your name in bold. Put your name in bold if you are not the first author, right? So also for conference paper, if you are not the only author, when you list your name, put them in bold. So your name, the year in brackets, the topic, and where it was published, Trends in Science, Elsevier, Journal of Environmental, blah, 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 the issue, the volume, the number of page number. You put that there. Then the next, after publication, your conferences, academic conferences. Here you now list the academic conferences that you have attended. There's also another tip. For those who do not have enough academic conferences, you could list some other events that you attended that shows your leadership experience. Maybe you attended some summits, where you were a panelist, a delegate. You could, if you do not have enough, you could use that to augment. That was why I put conferences, events, right there. So please ignore the training. The training is under professional certification. So some training, this is why I put trainings here. Maybe there are some high-level trainings. So you just put them, there's no need, just put them under, I'm coming. So under we'll get there, celebration and training. So you list your conferences. And when you talk about your conference and events, it's very simple. You don't need to say too much story, right? What is the title of the conference? Comma or full stop, the location, then the duration. So Fifth World Environmental Conference, in bracket, organized by, putting up the organizer, then the location, Greece, Athens, Greece, then year, June 2022. Very simple, no stress. So you do that the same. For the ones that, so I do something for conferences that I presented in, I'll put in front, speaker in bold, then I put colon, Then I list the name of the conference, right? So also, when you want to talk about maybe any specific event, please, not just anyhow event, please. Not cleanups. Don't go and list cleanups that you participated in under this session. No. Conferences. But for those who don't have enough conferences, maybe you have traveled for some international summits, you can then list them here. Or some conferences that are not academic, you can just bring them in here, just to augment. Then the next is your skills and competence. You see, this area is showing evidence and your potential. You will break down your skills and your competence under different subheadings. Now, it depends on your area of specialization. So, and also your field. For those in science, you have to talk about your field work and technical skills. Oh, acute, chronic experimental setup, environmental risk assessment design, toxicity assay, field sampling. These are under fieldwork and technical. Then you go to computational and statistics skills. This one is everyone. Data analysis using, what are the softwares you can use? R, Python, ArcGIS, Microsoft. Those are anything that has to do with software. They are under computational and statistics skills. The next one would now be research and publication. Excellent presentation skills, literature review and scientific writing, excellent research ability with knowledge of APA and MPA references type. Can you see these things? So you list them. Then you will now add other relevant skills. Maybe you are good with project management, stakeholders engagement. You can just chip in 2 or 3 of them. So these are enough evidence. So your skills and competence, your fieldwork and technical, computational skills, your research and other relevance. This is applicable for even if you are in social science. For your fieldwork, your capacity in administering preliminary survey, reconnaissance survey, designing qualitative and quantitative survey, KII, FGDs, list them there. Those are other your fieldwork and technical. Then you go to computational, then you go to research and publication. You must show that you have the fieldwork capacity, you have the soft skills and technical skills. Then you also are research inclined. So that means your work does not just stop as fieldwork alone. You are able to theorize your finding and publish it. That is why research and publication is important. Then after your skills and competence, the next are your certifications and training. Maybe you've done some trainings that relate to the role you're applying for. You list them there. You list the name, data analysis with R Studio, with R programming rather, in brackets, Coursera and Google. Then you put the year. Very simple. The title of the training, in brackets, the platform where you got the training. Google, list them there. And the certifications in just bulletin points. Then after professional certification and training, the next is your award, honors and recognition. So here, when it comes to talking about your awards, you are trying to tell them that your efforts has been recognized. So it means that what you have been doing has been recognized by local and international organizations. It means that your work is credible and outstanding. So all your awards in undergraduate, your dean's list, you won the best graduating student, or you are awarded for anything, list your awards here. Also, I would recommend that you not go overboard. So first list the relevant ones, then you can augment with others. So you've gotten grants before, you were selected for a program, you are awarded for a fully funded opportunity, you participated as a fellow, all of them comes in here. You are youth advisor, you got an award, a national award, your scholarships, they are award and recognition. List them here. Then the last is the tail, which is your reference. So usually, some applications will tell you in your CV include 2 to 3 references, right? But if you are sending cold mail, just put available on request. You know why? When you are applying for opportunities and they already ask for references, you reach out to your supervisors and whatever you want to, you tell them ahead of time, right? But when you're sending cold mails, you did not inform your lecturers yet. So put there available on request. So they don't go out of the blue and write to your lecturers because they might not even see it. So it is very important. So that is basically the structure of an academic CV: the head, the body, and the tail. Before I move forward to some other tips on some of the things that you should not do, the core principles, I'd like to know if this session is very clear. So on a scale of 1 to 10, yes, on a scale of 1 to 10, how clear is this part of the training to you? The structure of an academic CV, the head, the body, and the tail. The head, I can see some questions already. I would start picking them. Okay. All right. So the head, the body, and the tail. These are the key sections. These are the key. You don't put your date of birth, your best food, your best color. You don't put. If you put those ones in your CV, your lecturers will be like, "What's going on here? What's going on here?" So if after this training, if I hear you say if after this training I hear you say you know what that means? It means under your education, you are listing your dissertation, you are listing your courses. If you go and list your courses under your education, if I hear you say it'll be a problem. Now, what are the core principles? The fact that you organize your CV in this format does not mean it is outstanding. What are some of the core principles? First, you have to make sure that your CV is clear and organized. Sometimes I've seen some people's CV before and I'm like, this is rich, but everything are just clustered together. See, the more simple your formatting of your CV, the better. Some will put color the session, put in green, blue. You don't need all of that. In fact, you don't need to put your picture on your CV. Don't stress yourself, right? Just simple Word document, except if you are asked to use Europass for those applying for academic opportunities to Europe. But if you are drafting your CV with Word documents, Google Doc, it has to be clear and organized. Bulletin points, clear, organized bulletin points. Start from the most recent. You have to use simple formats, and your CV must be coherent with your story. So, for example, if you put in your SOP or your essays that while you were working with Nigerian Brewery, you did XYZ projects, right? Maybe the use of fungus and blah 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 blah. That thing must also be integrated in your bulletin points when it comes to that area of Nigerian brewery. So let me give you another example. If you work in IIT, let's say, okay, you did something in IIT and it has to do with your research on pathogens. You spoke about it in your SOP, but when you were listing what you did in IITA, you didn't say anything about that research. It will be hard for them to validate. So it has to be coherent. Then please, it has to be legible. Some of you, because you want to pack all your experience in your CV, your font size is 7.5 or 9. No, the minimum for your font size should be 11. And don't use clear fonts. Time New Roman is good, or Calibri. There's this particular font I want to remember. Oh, this is a particular writing. People like writing. If you can remember, we learned how to write like that in school. But you know that there's this version of it on there's this version of it in Google, in Word documents. Some of you would use fonts where H will look like W. No, New Times Roman is very good. Calibri is okay. Your spacing 1.15. Don't, because you want to pack a lot, you reduce the no. Then you also use the ruler. You also extend the ruler. No. Then use active style. Styles that shows you taking action. Verbs. Start with verbs. Start with what? With verbs. All right. So these are key principles. Now let's work on something. How many of you are ready? Can we enable our videos, and let's do like this. Let's enable our videos, and if you're able to enable your video, just do like this. Like, you want to get to work. Yes, if you're able to enable your video, let's see. Yes, cursive. Thank you, Mayokun. That was the handwriting. Cursive. Yes, can we do like this? Let's get to work. I can see Benjamin. Yes, Benjamin is ready. Who else? Who else can I see that is ready? Let's work on something. We want to work on a brief essay, a brief CV. Okay, I can see Tumishe. Tumishe is ready for this. Okay, if you are unable to enable your video, kindly give me a thumbs up. I want us to work on a CV, just something. Okay, thank you. I'm going to stop sharing this. We'll come back to this later. Okay. So I would want everyone, follow what everyone is saying. You tell me what to do. So there are 3 sections. The first thing you need to understand is when you want to draft your CV, there are 3 sessions. What are the 3 sessions? Yes? What are the 3 sessions when drafting your CV? Head, body, and tail. So you start with your head. So let's use a name. Let's use, I'm going to pick one name from anyone I see. Victor. Victor, let me see, whose name should I use? Victor, Oluwa, Somishe, Solomon. All right. Good. Then the next. Yes, so who can tell me what's the next after? What else should be in the body? What else should be in the head, rather? Name, yes. Name, yes. I want us to be responsive. You can unmute. Email, phone number, yes. Your address,
Contact
don't forget.
address.
Yes, your address. 19 Bolo Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. Then the next, you put your email address. Please, I need not to say this, but I'm going to say this. Use proper email address. Not Soldier Warrior or Avenger 26 or Barbie, Lady Barbie, Lady Barbie 98. No, 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 no. You should have a proper email address or your school email address. So Victor Tumishe 19 at gmail.com, right? So then you can, so just make it look more. So mobile plus 23490887555, right? Then you put your links, LinkedIn. So now for your web profile, you can do it in two ways. You can put it here. You can put your Google Scholar, or what you can also do is after your profile, you can create a section for web profile. Either ways you are good. Either ways you are what? You are good. So you put your link, your LinkedIn profile here. So semicolon. So yeah, capital letter either way. So you put your Google Scholar, your link, please, the link. So now, one thing you need to do is make sure your name is in bold and a little bit bigger. Because you know one thing we said is it has to be legible. So make that only your name. I think this is okay. Fine. So you go to the next, you put your profile or summary, whatever you want to call it. So usually to make these things look more organized, I put lines after each session. So I'm done with the head. I'm done with the head. So I just put a line. That is the head. Now, for the subsections under body, I also separate them with another form of line. Instead of just saying profile and I write under. Why? Because I want to make it look organized. So I'm coming. I want to make sure that everything, yes. Can you see it? So here in your profile, you start with your experience. You list whatever it is you want to list. A recent graduate or a marine scientist with interdisciplinary training in physical oceanography, skilled in blah 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 blah, experiencing. You list whatever it is using the explanation I did. You list everything here. 3 to 5 lines. 3 to 5 lines. Then you go to the next. So just copy this. Right? Then I said something. I said you can come here and list your web profile if you want. Then you list them one by one. Just use the Google Scholar. Google Scholar. You paste the link. Then you do Orchid. You paste the link. ResearchGate if you like. It is optional. Now, after your web profile, you go to your education. Now, what I want to ask you a question. Look at the way I'm doing everything. If look at here, I have this line. If I come here and put another separate line, it's going to look disorganized. But with what I'm doing, what can you see? Uniformity. Am I right? You see uniformity. You see uniformity. So when you continue with this style, your education, you come here. Am I supposed to go to education? What am I supposed to go to next before my education? I want to know if someone is following me. Yes. You know, funny how these are the simple, these are the you can just drop it in the chat box. Drafting a union academic CV is understanding the basics. I'm telling you. That's why you would see that, thank you, research interest. That's why you see that I'm not going too deep. I just want you to understand the basics, your research interest. Because simple, just list the first one, XYZ. Second one, XYZ. Third one, XYZ. As simple as that. You can also always move your bulletin if you want to align with the ruler. So these are like the basics. You do your research interest, then you go to your education. So in your education, remember, you start with the title of your degree. Bachelor of Science in Accounting. Then you're here at the 2021. Then you put it there. Federal University of XYZ, right? Comma, Lagos, comma, Nigeria. Don't list your courses. Don't list your don't put your dissertation here. Even if it is masters, you could just chip your thesis in just to maybe like you're trying to apply for a PhD while you're working on the masters. But for your bachelor's, no. Then you put your grade, right? First class or second class, whatever it is. Then you list it here, blah 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 blah. Then you put your CGPA. Now, I will also say something. After listing your CGPA, if your CGPA is over 5, whatever you have, convert it to percentage so that it helps the reviewer to easily understand your grade. So 3.5 over 5, that's 70%. So if you say, okay, 3.5 in brackets, 70%. So after your education, you go to your research. and work experience. So you start with the most recent, right? You start with the most recent. So you go research intern or research assistant. Then don't forget to always add the year. Very important. 20. You can put the for year, you put the duration, months, August 2024 to July 2025. Then the name, right? Don't use acronyms, please. The full name of the institution. Very important, please. So Cocoa Research Institute, Oyo, Nigeria. Then you list, like I've explained, what did you do? So you put them in bulletin points. You could also put your supervisor, right, if you want. Then you begin to list. Conducted, collected samples, liver, kidney, blah, 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 blah. You go again, you list. Simple as that. Bulletin points. Simple. Use the active voices. Can you see that when you use simple format, it is clear to read? That is all. So you use these, you go to the research experience, you keep on from research experience, you continue to publication. Then you list your work experience as well, research and work. From there, you go to publication. Please make sure that the font size you are using are equal. For headings, for subheadings, they are equal. Don't do this. This one is big. This one is small. No, 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 no. They have to be the same font size. Now, I said something on publication. You start with, it depends. If you have a lot, please take notes. So you can start with journal, underline. Then I said, if you are not the only author, when you list their names, put yours in bold. Let me show you what I mean. Paul, Eweola. The way it is on your publication, please. Solomon Ekundayo, Oluwatunmise Dada. Now, if you are this person here, you put yours in bold. Usually, it is best to do the initials, your surname and the initials. So, Eweola Ekundayo, Dada, your surname, Dada O. You put that in bold, right? Can you see it? So, in case I'm not the only author, then you can put the year in bracket 2025 or a full stop and the year. Then the title of the journal. Where was it published? Blah, 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 blah. Then if you are done putting that, the journal details, you can also hyperlink. Go and copy where it is on your Google Scholar and just put Control K, title it as online access, and paste the link here. Please hold on. Yes, online access. Can you see it? So that after they are done, if they want to read it, they just click on the link and they have gone. Can you see that? That's that. So when you Do this for your journal, do this for your comma, segment them under publication. The same way you have done this publication is the same way you would do for skills and competence after you have done your trainings. You do the same thing for skills and competence. So you would do for field work and technical skills. So you list them in bulletin points. So you do the same thing for, after listing them, for computational skills. Can you see it? So you list them, computational skills, right? So you begin to list them. That's computational and statistical skills. You do the same thing, you list them. You go to field publication and presentation. So you list them under each of them. So that is how you would attend to each of the session, one by one. The reason why I'm doing this is just to explain the format. So, and if you are unsure of yourself after you are done drafting your CV and you need an expert review, of course, after you have done your formatting well and probably just need some, you send to us for review. You get necessary information about the commitment fee because we do them like almost free of charge, but there's need for commitment fee because some people take free things for granted. So just the same thing for each of them. So let's continue. So that is basically how to draft. And when you are done, you review your CV over and over again. Go through it. Go through your CV over and over again. You know, okay, have I missed something? Give it another review. Review it like you are the one that is on the selection committee. Yes, review like a reviewer. So that's basically it. And also, when you are tailoring your CV for different opportunities, like I said, don't use one CV for all applications. Even if the academic have different version. Don't fill in all your experiences, especially if they are not research. For research, you can put in, all your research experiences. But when you want to augment, you want to complement, you pick the ones with what? The relevant experience alone. Especially when you're dealing with CVs with specified number of pages. All right? So, and I'm going to leave us with this word. Your CV should demonstrate your preparedness and potential as the best fit for that academic opportunity you apply for. It must show you how prepared you are, and it must show your potential as the best fit. If your CV does not show these two things, then your selection is in doubt. So, and with that, we've come with the end of the session. I'd like to take questions and answers. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. So thank you very much, everyone. At this point, I'd like to take questions, if there are any. Thank you, Solomon. You're welcome. All right. In absence of no further questions, you can always reach out to us. Okay, Tumishe, your hand is raised.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate this session, and I have few questions, sir. The first,
right.
hello, sir. Am I audible, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay. First is that I want to ask, is it possible to like have an interchange? Probably the conference comes before the publication, or the skills comes before. Um, is it is it something
So
that maybe in
now,
the
in
head?
terms of organization, it is best. Remember, I'm recommending what has really worked for me. I'm not saying you cannot be flexible. You can.
Oh, okay.
But in terms of relevance, you would see that each of the subheadings were listed in terms of relevance and story. For example, if you move your work experience down and what you start with is your publication, the first thing the selection committee or whoever is recruiting wants to look at is he wants to see your experience and your interest. I want to know if it's interest align with what I'm doing. So,
Hmm.
but for others, you can interchange the publication and the skills, yes. But if the ones that I recommend not touching the education, research interest. You see, those ones are very, very important. So they should start the body of your CV.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Then also, sir, is it advisable to probably add an hyperlink to maybe certification that I have while referencing it on my CV? Maybe like something like
No,
a
no, there is
view
no need
here,
for that.
something like.
There is no need for that.
Okay, okay. Then lastly is for instance, um hello sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Yes, for instance, if I'm applying for an opportunity in Europe and probably I've taken a course that's actually attracted some European credit scores, how can I reflect it such that okay, maybe while my points are being what's it called? Are being assessed, that also can reflect as maybe
Sorry.